Morning, everybody, and welcome to day 25 of NaNoWriMo. Sorry, I'm just setting up my stuff here. And episode 25, season 4, episode 4, actually, of Prisma Arena, the animated series. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn that on. I'm Rory O'Connor, and we're going to be playing through another episode of Untold Adventures Await today. Just going to show you the top-down view of that. Playing through an episode of Untold Adventures Await, and we will suppose have an amazing adventure as we see what happens to our 4 heroes as they try to do their training in the Prisma Academy, which doesn't seem to be progressing very well because they're getting caught up in all of the adventure that's been occurring. So we have our 4 characters. We have Vika, who is the Arcanobot. I'm just going to pop them up kind of big, I think, on the screen. So we've got Vika, our Arcanobot. We've got Dimona, whose parents are missing, actually, and that's kind of part of the threads we need to resolve as part of the storyline. Jasan, who is the son of the captain of the Rangers of Hendon. And we have Eleanor, who lost her parents during an attack by the Bringers of Despair. And she's come to the academy to train and become a guardian as well. So, the way we left the last episode, we rescued the children of Prisma and brought them back to the academy, and they're trying to be kind of repatriated with their families. They had been taken and were being kind of studied because the followers of Despair are planning to. They're working on a Doomsday Device that is going to kind of extract all of the Prisma from the land of Solas, and in doing so, they would kind of kill any chance of hope awakening and usher in like a kind of permanent time of despair. So our heroes obviously got to stop that. They had been kind of, I think, studying the children to try and understand how they could extract the Prisma. They've been rescued, so we've kind of slowed up their plans a little bit, but we've kind of got a few episodes left to stop them. So I think the threads that are kind of still outstanding are Dimona's parents are missing. Last seen talking to Shruma, which are the kind of fungi creatures that we encountered in the last episode as well. And we've got this kind of Doomsday Device. They're the 2 main threads, I think. And we also know the Inspirers of Wonder, who are kind of from the next upcoming era. They're kind of lurking in the background, and we don't know what they're going to do. Thanks for joining us. We've kind of built up over like the 4 seasons that we've been playing. The game, we've kind of finally got to that epic storyline where it's kind of make or break right now. So we're going to see how that all works out. So I'm going to hide that, and we're going to jump straight in, actually. So for those who kind of don't know Untold, the game is played over 5 scenes. A dangerous dilemma, the plot thickens, an heroic undertaking, the truth's revealed, and the final showdown. I'm going to reveal each tile, and it's going to kind of give me a statement, and I need to kind of complete that statement with the story cubes. And then I get to ask questions and take actions. When I take the last action, I must move on to the next scene and progress that way. And the idea is to basically tie up the threads in the story before we get before my final set of actions run out. I think over the month we've become a little bit fluid. I think I've got better with playing and interpreting the icons. We'll see how it goes in this episode, though. Of course, it'll all fall back. So, just in general, the episode's going to open back in we're back in Beacon and we're back in the academy. Okay, because we had kind of quite a high point in the last episode, so we're back there, and let's see what happens in terms of the dangerous dilemma. So I'm going to reveal the tile. I was kind of half debating about whether to switch out some of the story cubes. Do you know what? I think I will before I start rolling, because we're kind of not in the investigative rescuing mode. So I'm going to take maybe leave that one. So I'm going to take these 3 out. I'm going to put back in actually some of the kind of older ones we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go with that, I think. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to roll and see how we get on. Okay, so I should have said the episode opens at a location where a threat of some kind is arguing, threatening, or blackmailing, accusing, blaming someone or something. So they're kind of blaming each other. There's like a fight, verbal fight or argument going on. Or kind of counter argument. So it's more like a social attack. They're socially attacking each other is the way we would describe it. Okay, so take my coffee to kind of get my inspiration. So I think we will start in Beacon, right? Because this is actually kind of how I picture it, as this kind of floating city. Because again, excuse me, I'm going to just mute for a second. So because as a result of an earlier attack by the Bringers of Despair on Keyport, got to remember all the names, a kind of warning was issued, and all of the cities essentially took off. So in this land, they kind of settle during quiet periods, but when there's a risk of attack from Despair, they all kind of levitate or gravitate up and become kind of like city ships. So they can essentially flee from Despair. So so we're back in Beacon, and we're still under high alert. So I think that the city is kind of hovering above Hope. But actually, Beacon doesn't move because Beacon's got to stay and protect Hope. So we're back in Beacon. And who is arguing at this? Okay, I don't know. This one kind of caught my attention straight away. And I thought of like a group of treasure hunters of some kind. So I think there is a... Oh, maybe we could bring back an old character. Maybe we could. So we could bring back... but they weren't really a threat, though. Then again, their plans can change. So I think we're kind of a bit late in the series to be introducing loads of new characters. No, let's do it. Okay, so there's a group of... they're kind of like, I guess, mercenary treasure hunters, or like, let's call them Prisma hunters. So... Oh no, maybe they are actually kind of like... they're kind of mercenary trackers or bounty hunters who are in town. Okay, I have an idea of what they might be here for, but I'll kind of hold on to that for the moment. So there's a group of, I think, kind of outside the kind of council building for in Beacon. There are these kind of bounty hunters, and they are arguing with someone or something. So normally at this point in the episode, we generate our characters, but we've already created them and been playing with them over previous episodes. So I can skip straight to the action and kind of asking questions. So we see these kind of mercenary bounty hunters And they are arguing with someone or something else. So let's see, who or what are they arguing with? And I'll get an idea of kind of what's going on. Oop, that's not good. This could be interesting. I have lots of options here. I could have so it is I think it's actually a council meeting, right? And they're talking about what to do about this Doomsday Device. And in the meeting, these kind of bounty hunters are getting kind of quite, I think, vitriolic with. I'm gonna say her name, but I'm going to get it wrong. Yeah, Amjura, who is the ninja, Raven Ninja, of the kind of Ravona clan, and they're arguing, like they're saying, "What's she doing here? Like we're not going to participate in this until you get rid of her." And she is arguing back, saying, "You know, who the hell do you think you are? I could kind of take you all on with, you know, my little finger." But she, if you remember from the last episode, she did help us out and has kind of come to train in the arena with us. So she's kind of switched sides, we hope. She was always kind of like essentially chaotic, self-serving in the earlier episodes. So they're arguing with each other, and I want to see, what are they arguing over? They are arguing. Right, so I think we kind of haven't used this icon in a while, and I kind of want to bring that in. So I think, so they're arguing over, maybe I'll use this icon as well. They are arguing over the impact so there's the children that have been affected by despair, and they're back in Beacon, the ones that were being kind of studied and tested. And I think the bounty hunters are kind of arguing that they need to be they're potentially tainted by despair, and that they need to be kind of imprisoned and held, and that we can't really do anything else until we do that. And I think Imjura is kind of arguing on their behalf, saying, no, we've like, I've been with the children, I've studied them, we've checked them, they are all okay, but they're having none of it, and they're refusing to kind of allow the meeting to continue and get to the important stuff, which is basically figuring out where this Doomsday machine is. Though I think, did we figure out where that was? I don't know if I made a location to mark it. Sorry. So many things going on. Locations. No, we don't know. So, yeah, that we got to figure out where this is. So, whilst they're arguing, I think Demona is going to step in and say, so they're arguing. Yeah, I think Demona is our heroes are in the kind of council chamber because they've been involved in a lot of this. So I think Imdura turns to our heroes and says, well, you've been with the children. What's your sense of their condition? Are these? Let's give them a name. This organization. They are the. I call them Prisma Hunters of where are they from? Somewhere else. Oh, maybe they're actually from from where is it Articria, where the Terrapan are from? Yeah, maybe. So they're Terrapan actually. So they're the kind of Terrapin humanoid characters. They, I think while they're arguing, actually, so the Prisma Hunters look at us and see we're wearing our pins that we received from the Terrapins for helping them in a previous episode to mark us as kind of like friends of them. And they turn and say, well, like, what about you? What do you think? What do you have to say about all of this? And I think we are going to try and convince them to just get on and deal with, say the children are not a concern. You need to get on and focus on dealing with despair and finding this Doomsday Device. So I think that's going to be our action we're going to take. So I'm going to reveal this. Okay, so we managed to persuade them, but I'm just going to shuffle for the first time. So they listen, but I think they kind of just listen to us and are like, right, and then turn back and ignore us. And it's kind of like we're a bit embarrassed that we've been just kind of like pushed out of the room or out of the conversation. So they're talking about that. I think I've kind of never done this before, but it kind of seems like what our characters could do. I think we've kind of got them back on track. So we've kind of dealt with that scene. We could theoretically move on, but I think we're going to lean over to Nadalia and assume she is here with us, who's the researcher, and ask her, is there any news on finding the location of the Doomsday Device? Okay, I think they have. So I think she said yes. We've tracked its location to I'm going to call it the Mechanic. Let me see what is the Mech. Mechanic. Wastes, valley, desert. I think the Mechanic marshes actually. Oh, hang on. I have a note here. Maybe it was actually the Spiral Marshes, which is now going to become the Mechanic Marshes. Yeah, we've seen a kind of concentration of the Shadows of Despair kind of in that area. We've been able to track it. And yeah, I think I won't add in it. I think that's enough. So we've been able to track them, and we've found its location. So I will ask, I guess, what is the plan? Or is there a plan? What is the plan? Okay, I think there is a plan for the working with the monks of Tanal. I think there was a plan to infiltrate the construction in the marshes, and I think to basically and to shut it down. I'm gonna keep it fairly simple. So there is a plan. The Guardians are going to a kind of a unit of Guardians are going to travel there and infiltrate the building with the aid of the monks of Tanal to try and shut this down. Well, I think we got to ask: are we going to get to go? So we're gonna, I think, argue our case. And they said, well, yes, we do actually need your help, but let me see. I think the council really aren't happy about it. Like, there's been strong arguments from what's her name, the streamer who has kind of returned back. And their name is Carnu. So Carnu has kind of argued strongly against you going, but I think over the last number of weeks and months that you've been here, you've shown you're more than capable for this, and we suspect you have a I'll say actually so I'm going to say the council actually argued for you to go, which is kind of weird. And maybe it argued Omax actually, who didn't. I'll keep it to that. So the council argued that we should go, and Omax is really angry about that it's not safe for us to go on this kind of very dangerous mission. So as we're kind of discussing that with them, so I think I'm going to just kind of move on to see how the plot thickens. As we're kind of talking about these things, it makes sense that we discover something. So what it's saying is that the Prisma Hunters have some kind of evil master who's directing them. Ooh. So who could that be? Looking at these. Again, trying to keep it in the context of the story. We've used this before to represent the guild, the Merchants Guild. So it could be kind of Conran. So even though he's been arrested, maybe he's influencing it. He could be working with the Shadows or with Despair. I don't think they're going to be that much of a turncoat. I think they're working with someone else. The Merchants Guild kind of makes sense. Actually, the Infinity Coalition, because I think if they can get their hands on this tech, they are really curious. So I think as we're leaving the hall, so after the meeting, it kind of breaks up and plans are being made for the infiltration. And actually, so the Prisma Hunters are going to be coming, and so will Endura as well. As they're leaving, we spot, I kind of catch at the corner of my eye. Well, who does? I think Vika notices one of the hunters, whose name we are going to call let's see, Merson, who's a Prisma Hunter, talking with, and we recognize someone from the Infinity, Dr. Valnor, on their kind of holocomms device. And so, master. And so, what are they discussing? Can we overhear what they're saying? I think they're saying you need to. He's saying, like, don't worry. We will do our best. Not even that we'll do our best. Don't worry. We will. We'll make sure we get the plans. We'll find the plans for this Doomsday Device. For you as agreed. And so I think we've seen in previous episodes, and in my head, the Infinity Coalition are kind of like a scientific research group, and they're constantly pushing the boundaries of science and technology, but kind of often at the expense of others. So it's like the pursuit of knowledge without taking responsibility for the consequences of doing that as well. So they are. So I think the Prisma Hunters are actually, they've got a deal going on with the the scientists, and I'm just wondering, can we hear anything then about, like, are they planning to kind of sabotage the plan in any way? So I think what we hear is the plan is once they get to the Arctic marshes, they are going to break away from the group, and if need be, they will. It's a last resort, but basically kind of cut down anyone who gets in their way. Right, I think so. Obviously, we hear that, and Vika kind of catches up to the rest of us who have the group who've walked on, and says, "There's trouble. the Prisma Hunters are going to betray us. So I think we need to go and tell someone to stop this from happening. Okay. So I think we go to I'm gonna get its name. Okay, so I think I run to find Omax as a kind of the lead guardian. And I'm going to use this to indicate the bridge of the ship. Okay, that we're of the shuttle that we're going to be taking. So we run to find Omax to tell him about it, and on our way there to the shuttle, we are. I think it kind of makes sense. We're attacked by the Prisma Hunters. Kind of step out, and they so they don't capture us. So I think they. Yeah, I think they're just going to straight up step in front and say, it seems you may have heard a little, overheard our conversation. We can't let you get in our way. I'm sorry, kids. And I think at the sound of the word kids, Jasan just like, Rah! And immediately starts to summon like Farg and let rip with a bolt of Prisma at them. And he knocks one of them flying. It's just like, and the guy kind of skids across the ground and slumps down, and the others look sideways. And I think our heroes use that as their cue. And so I think Demona kind of does her thing where she runs and she like kind of, steps up onto the side of the wall, bounces off another wall, and basically does a kind of roundhouse kick at the characters. And she charges up her. You see the kind of flow of Prisma channeling down her body to her foot as she just like lets rip with a kick. And she, like slow motion, connects with the face of the other Prisma Hunter, and her face just spins, and she kind of like starts swirling from the top of her head. The rest of her body follows, but so laughter. I think so. She wants to take them out, but as she comes to a land, like into a crouch, she looks up and she just sees a kind of a Prisma blaster pointed at her by one of the Prisma Hunters. And I think they've got these kind of like eclectic weapons, like Prisma tridents and kind of like net guns. And they've got like a kind of an old archaic Prisma blaster. And they're laughing, saying, if you think you're going to stop us. And I think he fires. I think there needs to be a consequence in this, actually. So I think he fires at Demona. And I'm going to see she's going to have to try and get out of the way of this. Because our heroes have generally survived. They've taken knocks, but I think we're going to get to a point where the ante needs to be upped. So he fires, and I think I think Vika, she's not going to have time to get out of the way. I think Vika's going to immediately like kind of just dive to try and take the brunt of this. So he doesn't, but so I think the blast hits Demona and kind of knocks her to the ground, and she's injured. So he doesn't do that, but I think we managed to scare off the kind of remaining guards, or I think we scare off the remaining Prisma hunters. You know, they thought we were kids. I think when they just see the three heroes standing in front of Demona and, you know, huge Farg and the various Mokon being summoned, they kind of realize they've bitten off more than they can chew. So I think Demona is out, and I think Eleanor is going to see if she can heal her with her kind of Prisma, and how she's kind of focused her training, I think, on the kind of healing aspects of Prisma. So yes, she does. And I'm going to say that okay. So this is like there's a good thing that happens. So I think whilst healing, so I think while she's healing, I'm going to throw in an idea token here. I think while she's healing her, Eleanor kind of like has this kind of jolt, and she's like, "That's really strange." And as Demona kind of wakens, she says, "What is it?" And she says, "You were thinking about your parents, weren't you?" And Demona nods. She said, I thought that was it. I was never going to see them again." And Eleanor says, "I can see the thread that binds you." Said, "I don't understand it, but when I close my eyes, I can see this kind of link between you and your parents. They are out there." And Demonis is like, "Are you sure?" And Demona is like, or Eleanor is saying, closes her eyes again and says, there's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there." And Demona gives her like a big hug and says, "Thank you." Jasan is like, "Come on, we got to get to the ship and warn Omax." So I think they are going to race to the ship. So as they're racing there, I wonder if there's a question they can ask. What would we need to know? Well, I'll say kind of what's happening at the ship when we get there. Sorry, I'll just keep dropping this stand here. So I kind of want to say it's locked. Because I don't think the heroes want to. I don't think the Prisma Hunters want to give it away just yet. They kind of need the others to be able to get into the Doomsday Device, which I'm gonna have to. They're gonna have to name it something more than the Doomsday Device. It's kind of like Drain or something like that. The Prisma Drain doesn't sound very dangerous though. And maybe the kids kind of joke about the name of it and they go, oh yeah, the Prisma Drain, to kind of make light of something that's really scary. So I think as we get there, no, they are just like finally locking things up. And we see the Prisma Hunters are kind of just, yeah, they're there. They're loading things up, acting as if everything is normal. And we are, so they're acting as everything is normal. And I think we're going to try and persuade Omax. And, you know, we point at the Prisma Hunters and say, you have to abort the mission. They're going to betray us. They've attacked us. They're working with the Infinity, blah, blah, blah. You know, the Infinity Coalition. We need to abort the mission. So how is he going to react? Oh, so he actually, for once, Omax kind of listens. Yeah, I think everyone is like this. They're saying, I think Omax says, well, he goes, well, duh. We figured it would be an inevitable that they're bounty hunters. There's no way we could trust them, but we knew we needed them by our sides, so we could keep a close eye on them. But yeah, thanks, kids, for like kind of giving the game away. So with that, I kind of want to see how the. I don't want to reveal that yet. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go on to the next scene, and we discover that they have another agenda. So I don't think it's that they always had this agenda all along. I think they're changing their plan. And this kind of strikes me. I think they have captured. I'm going to use that one. I think they say, well, yeah, we figured they're, you know, we're not ones to put all of our eggs in the one basket. So we will bid farewell. And I think they, this kind of heli shuttle flies in overhead, and they leap to catch onto it, and are kind of lifted off before anyone can do anything about it. We try to raise the shields, but the ship has, we said any ship that has a Prisma shard in it can actually travel in and out to the Prisma shield. So they manage to escape, and just at that point, we get a call saying the children are gone. The Prisma children have been taken, and so whilst we were distracted with this mission, some of the other Prisma hunters were able to do it. And I think we asked, was it the Prisma hunters, or did someone else? Who else might have helped them? So I think they say they weren't all. Oh, I could do something interesting here, I think. If that works. So I wonder if I've got to modify. Though I don't think I have the right symbol. Yeah, I just saw one. Wasn't what I was thinking of, but they got help from members of the Ravona, the Ninja Ravens. And I think Mjura kind of runs up to us to confirm that's what's happened. She said, I saw my sisters, as in members of her clan, of the Ninja Ravens. She said, I barely made it out of alive, but they've got the children. So crap. Gotta figure out what to do. So do we go on with the mission, or do we go after the children? Maybe they're headed to the same place, actually. I think they are. So I think the Prisma Hunters, their plan is to bring the children to the Mechanic Marshes, to the followers of Despair, and kind of hand them over as a kind of like, well, they're hunters for hire, and kind of use it as an opportunity to try and maybe infiltrate themselves and get access to the plans for the Doomsday Device. They just want their hands on it before it gets destroyed by the Guardians, and I don't think they really care whether it gets destroyed or not. The Infinity Coalition just want the plans for it. So I think we are going to I think we got to chase them into the marshes. So I was just trying to think of kind of interesting names for places. So we're kind of heading to the Mechanic Marshes, but I think on the way we okay, this is probably a bit cheesy, but hey, it's a weird atmospheric thing called the sound clouds, and they, when you pass through them, they distort sound. So I don't know if that's kind of like those features. And I think they're home to something, but the sound clouds are, maybe they're called sonic clouds actually, rather than, just so we're not breaching copyright. And there's something about them that kind of reflects and bends and warps sound that makes it hard to communicate. So we've just made our life easier. So I'm gonna use that to donate it. So we're in the sound clouds, where as we're flying through in pursuit, I think we decide to take this kind of shortcut and head to them. You'd normally go around them, but I think Omax is saying we don't have time for that. We need to intercept them. And as we're going through, I think I think they're going to work together at the same time. So I think two ships kind of like emerge out of into the clouds, and we hear this kind of weird rumbling. No, John, I'm going to leave them here. There's an interesting thing I want to try and do, I think. If it all goes to pot, I've got a backup plan. So as we're flying into the clouds and sound is like stretching and bending, and as we're talking to each other, we're kind of half looking and trying to figure out what each other is saying, and so we're having to kind of like I think text each other kind of messages. And again, using our kind of holographic projectors, we can type in the text so that others can see what we're writing and saying to each other. We hear this kind of weird, like weird sound being stretched out, and we notice this kind of net, this charged net surrounding the ship, and the circuitry starts to kind of fizz, and I think the plane starts to, or the shuttle starts to lose power, and we realize it's the Prisma Hunters. They've basically fired a kind of a charged net around the shuttle and caught us. So I think Vika is going to jump into the pilot seat, kind of politely asks, do you mind if I assist with the rescue? Again, Vika has been around for a long time, maybe been in these situations more than once, and I think they try to kind of pull off a maneuver which is like a really deep spin that would kind of yank the other ship and cause it to kind of release the net. So he performs it, but it isn't enough to shake them off, and I think we're still kind of losing altitude. So I think, what else can we do? We follow I don't know if I want to do that yet. So the ship's kind of spiraling down. I think so we've got Endura, we're meant to be kind of meeting with the monks. I think we're going to try and contact the monks for assistance to see if they are nearby and can help. No. And I think they have been ambushed as well. They I think a number of the monks have been captured. So they're not going to be coming to help us. So we're still spiraling down. I think we are going to try one last time. I think Max, or the captain of the ship, is going to try one more time, tells everyone to kind of well, I think we've kind of done this before in a previous episode where they actually try and overcharge the net with Prisma to kind of send it back up into the Prisma Hunter ship and almost like disable that with like an overcharge. So I think they try that one more time collectively to do that. So it happened in the episode with the spare. So I think they're going to try and do that. One last attempt. Nope. I think whatever's going on with the sound, it's kind of warping things. They're not able to do it. So I think they need to. I think they're going to try and crash land the ship. So I think Vika is saying, like, warns everyone, says we got to prepare for a crash landing. Obviously, texting it, telling people to kind of hold on, and oh my god. So I don't think we don't prepare. I think we crash. I think we crash quite heavily. Oh my god! And it takes out. They're unable to do it, and we crash. I think everyone gets kind of thrown. I guess out of the ship. and so the ship crash lands. I think we get kind of jolted around inside, and we're all quite badly injured. But there's something positive. I think so someone's horrified about this. I think well, the upside is that we were basically pulling the Prisma Hunters down with us, and that they were unable to pull out, and they've crash landed beside us as well. Okay. So, I'm gotta assume some of our heroes have survived and some have taken a hit. So I think Jisan has his Prisma Shield. He was able to kind of survive. So let's just start with him. With Jisan emerges and sees, and I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, a swarm of buglars, which we've seen in previous episodes. They're used in some of the kind of villages and towns as a form of transport. They're kind of both kind of like van-sized beetles that can travel on water and fly. And as Jisan kind of crawls out from the wreckage of the ship, he sees this kind of swarm of buglars approaching, and I think they swoop down and to try and because it's captured. So I think it's going to swoop down and try and pick up the heroes and the kind of the wreckage. So it swoops down. I think Jisan is going to try and so they come swooping down. I think Jisan kind of immediately is running for cover to try and avoid them. No. So they get captured. So they're picked up. But I think Jisan has a plan. This is the bit I was trying to get to. I had an idea of what I wanted to have happen. I think so. Jisan has spent his childhood basically mucking out buglar poop because his father, if you remember, would never let him become a ranger at the time because of his missing arm, and kind of believes that he wasn't he didn't have what it takes. He's since proven his worth and become an honorary member. And I think Jisan realizes, I think he's going to try and use because we're out of the sound cloud, we've dropped. He's going to try and use some of this, like the soothing sounds and kind of clicks that he would use to try and kind of soothe the bugler that's carrying him, to kind of rub it. It's underneath actually, because where he's being lifted, and I think he's going to try and climb back up on top to gain control of the buglar. So they're all flying. All the bits have been picked up and are being carried. We don't know where they're going. The bugler have just swooped in and picked them up. And I think Jisan is going to try and I think using his prism as well, he's going to try and kind of reach out using Grova, the affectionate, to connect with the bugler and let it know that it means them no harm. Okay, so he succeeds, but it is so admiring, adoring, loving, caring. So that's not going to quite work in our favor. Yeah, I think he's gained control of it, and he realizes he is not going to be able to control this because it is heading to its mating grounds. Does that make sense? So he's trying to reach out to it and soothe it and say, "It's okay, it's okay. I don't mean you any harm. Just put us back down." And I think the sense he gets from the bugler is that you will not be harmed, but we need the maybe it needs the ship for our essentially their nest, which I will conveniently say is in the Mechanic marshes, because I'm thinking of the mechanical aspects of things, and says so the kind of sense that Jisan gets is it's not going to harm them, but it is taking the ship to essentially build its nest for the kind of mating season. So the upside is they kind of get rescued, but the ship is going to be ruined. And I feel like this ends with like a big question mark where Jisan is kind of hanging on to the creature for dear life and wondering, what the hell to do, because yes, they're going to get closer to the Doomsday Device, but their ship and their equipment is going to be gone, and he doesn't know how to get that back. And I think the others are still unconscious as well. So I think he's feeling quite alone in the world right now and doesn't know what to do. And I think we're going to end the episode with that. Just that close up on Jisan's face and them just, that look. What am I going to do on their face? Okay, so I think the note we have is the locations. We've got a bugler nest, kind of nesting ground in the Mechanic marshes. And the Prisma Children have actually been captured again. Oh, they're on that ship, actually. Oh, they're on the other ship. So we do need to get them out of that ship. I forgot. Prisma Children held on the Prisma Hunter ship. So I think actually the episode ends with the children Jisan kind of seeing the children in the the ship and kind of steeling himself, that he has to do something to get them out. That's how we're going to end. Yeah. He's going to have a plan by tomorrow for the next episode. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. Totally did not go the way I expected, in the way that I love. These Prisma Children are proving more harder to rescue than I thought. I thought we were just going to get them home to their families and that's it, we're done. But they've been kind of pulled back into this. And I have a funny feeling like there's still a link with, I don't know, with Damona's parents, but we'll figure all that out because I don't actually know what it is. So that's the end of the episode. We'll be back for episode 26 tomorrow. And the way I like to do it, we've got kind of 3 more episodes in this season. So yeah, it's kind of good that we hit the kind of low point now. Everyone's unconscious. We don't know what we're going to do. We've got 3 episodes to kind of resolve it all, and hopefully shut down the Doomsday Device. If not, we've got the 2 kind of like epilogue episodes because of 30 days in November, in which we can wrap this all up. So have a great day, and we'll see you back here same time tomorrow for the next episode of Untold Adventures Await in Prisma Arena. Take care.